Hey design team, how's it going? Connor here. I talked to Cole a little bit about making a quick video for you guys showing off some ways that you can use Probuilder and ProGrids to really rapidly prototype levels, because I figured you guys are going to be needing to do that pretty soon. And I know some of you guys have said that you know how to use Probuilder, but I don't know if you know like all the ins and outs of it. So I wanted to show you guys just a couple of tricks that would let you basically make these levels super quick, super painlessly, without having to, tweak minor variables and stuff like that. And figure this way it'll be easier for you guys to understand it in video instead of if I just sent you guys like a wall of text. So right off the bat, so if you go up to your top here, oh, I'm gonna make my cursor visible for you guys, sorry. Boop, boop, there we go. If you go up to the top here, you have your tools drop down. Now if you don't have ProGrids or Probuilder here, you probably have to install it on your own end. But I'm gonna go ahead and open up both of these here. So you go to ProGrids window, that brings it up over here. Probuilder window, that brings it up over here. I like to put my Probuilder window over my console. So, ProGrids. You guys might not have worked with ProGrids before, or maybe you have, but this is the ProGrids window. Essentially, ProGrids will snap everything to a rounded value. So this could actually be useful if you have like a metric of, say, the player can jump 8 meters. Well, then you could set the snap value to like 4 meters, and then you know, okay, the player is going to be able to clear 2 of these. You can also set it specifically to snap to certain planes, excuse me. You can also lock the grid in place. You can turn the grid view off. You can turn the snap on and off. You can also render a 3D grid. I like to just keep it as the Y grid because it just meshes with Unity's grid really well. So to make a really quick room, what I like to do is I like to come down here and make a cube. Make it whatever size I want the room to be. So for now I'll say I want a room that's 20 by 20. And this will just be a big square room or cubular room, and build this. So what we're gonna do now is we have this cube here, but all of the walls are facing the wrong way. So what we can do down here is we can select all of the faces of this by going to the face selection here in Probuilder, which is just up at the top here. Click this, and then we can hit select face loop and select face ring, and then that's gonna select every side of our cube. And then what we do is we hit, we come down here and we hit flip normals. And now when we do that, we can click off of this, and now we can look into our room because this cube has basically just been flipped inside out. So yeah, that's like a quick way to make a room. And then obviously I'm gonna click this and make sure that it's at 0, 0, because that's where I want my room to start at. With Probuilder, the bottom left-hand corner is 0, 0. So this point right here is actually 0, 0. Just something to keep in mind. And I'm gonna name this cube the shell of the room, so room walls. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get some additional lighting. So right here you can see this black wall is because there is only one light in the scene, and it's coming down onto these walls. So like this wall is lit up, but these 2 walls aren't. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to create another light. So I'm just gonna hit Control D to duplicate this, and I'm gonna call this shadow light. And I'm going to spin this light around to point at this other wall. And a quick way to do that is to just subtract 180 from whatever this is. And then what I like to do is I like to make this bluish and make it really dark. And so that way, it's not pitch black, but you can still clearly tell, like, okay, this is the shadowed side and this is not. Okay, so once you have some walls made up, you can start working on creating like platforms and stuff that go in there. And to do that, I'm just going to show you guys one, and then I'm probably just going to make like a little test level in here. So to do that, I like to just pull whatever prefab I want, or if I don't have a prefab, I make one, or I make just a new cube. But we luckily do have prefabs, so we can go into prefabs, modular puzzle elements, level elements, and in here we have the different grapple points, and then we can create whatever we want. So if I want to add one of these in, I would just drag it in, make sure ProGrids is snapping it correctly, and then I can drag it around wherever I'd like it to be. And you can see, since I have this snap on, it's only snapping to units of 4. If I want that snap to go down, I can change this, and then it's going to snap to units of 1. So you can actually see on the Probuilder material there, it's snapping 1 square at a time. And this is just useful because it'll keep it so that you don't have to like manually measure everything out. You just know, okay, it's snapping to units of 1. Put these wherever you'd like them. I think I'm actually going to need a little bit more space if I want to create like a big level with what we've got. So I'm actually going to extend one of these walls out. And to do that, I'm just going to go to the face selection tool, select one of these faces, and then just drag it out. And that's going to make this room that much bigger. So I'm going to give myself quite a bit of room here to work with. And I actually want like a dividing wall between these two. So I'm going to go ahead and create another cube with some height to it that I don't want the player to be able to like jump over or anything like that. And I don't know how long this exactly is, and I don't want to just keep putting in different variables. So I'm going to build this cube, make sure that it's intersecting with the floor, and then just do that same trick that I just showed you guys, where I just grab one of the sides and pull it out. And now we have this wall that's sort of separating these two little rooms. So now I'm going to challenge the player to get up so they can swing over this, and maybe there'll be a box over here they have to throw over the wall or something like that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go through and I'm going to, using this same thing that I just showed you guys, I'm just going to put more of these platforms in my level. And then I'll show you guys the like switch and the door thing. Okay, so I got a basic layout set up right now. There are a couple things I want to do though. I want to make these objects sort of slant down so that the player can see them sort of jutting out of the wall and they don't just like magic floating platforms. So I don't know if you guys know you can do this, but you can actually select specific edges in Probuilder. So for example, I want this bottom edge here to be flush against this wall. So what I can do is I can select the edge tool and then click on it, and then I can move this along the ProGrids snap as well. So I'm going to move this back here, and I'm going to do this and make some of these areas a little bit nicer to look at now. Okay, so just like before, I'm having this issue where the top side of everything is this pitch black. That's because, similarly to how it was when we started the scene, there is only light coming from above. So I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this shadow light and then flip it 180 degrees in the X direction so that it's pointing upwards now. And now everything kind of has this, this uniform shadow to it. Okay, so to start putting in the door and the box puzzles, let's start with just the box, the button, and the door that will open. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into the prefabs of our objects. We're going to go to the modular puzzle elements, go to the switches, and we're going to grab a pass-through enabler, which is just our switch. So if you pass through this object, it will enable something else. So this is our switch. So we want our switch to be over here on this. And we're going to put it right in the center of that. And now this is a little bit small, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and select this bottom face here. Whoop. Kind of a pain sometimes to grab what you need to grab. Hi. May I have the bottom face? Oh, is this not a Probuilder object? Oh, it is not. Okay. That's fine. So what we're going to do, you can only affect Probuilder objects with that kind of stuff, so we're just going to make it a little bit bigger. Now this green box around it is the area that it is affected, so we're going to reduce that just a bit. Just pull it in to be 0.25, 0.25, 0.25 probably. And the trigger as well. Oh, that's much too small, so maybe 111. Okay. There we go. I don't know why it made itself do that, but that's fine. And then we're going to grab the trigger, and we're just going to make it a little bit bigger than it needs to be, because we want the player to be able to kind of nick it. So we'll make it 1.5. Maybe just 1.1 is fine. Okay, so now we need to make the box that will actually trigger, that will actually sit on the thing. So we're going to come over here, we're going to say pickups, and here's a movable cube. So we'll drop the movable cube up here. And that's pretty much done. We don't have to really mess with that. Ideally, in the future, we don't have this right now in the project, but we would have something that would respawn this cube. But for now, we're just going to leave it like that. And now we need to actually make a door. So Probuilder is kind of tricky in the sense that if you have a wall like this, you can't just make an object that like punches through this wall. Well, you can, but it takes a lot of programming. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to basically make one of these walls by hand so that we can have a hole in it, similarly to how I made this one in the time lapse. So I'm going to do that real quick. Okay, and so to do this, I'm going to make use of some of Probuilder's more advanced features. So I'm going to delete just this face. So to do that, I'm going to select it with the face selection tool, come down here and hit delete face. So now this one face on this cube is gone, but the rest of my room is still here. And now I'm going to use the extrude function. So first, I'm going to create a brand new shape. It's just a new cube here. And I'm going to drop it down to the bottom right hand corner just so I can keep track of where it is. By the way, if you hit, I don't know if you guys know this, if you hit F on your keyboard, it will focus to whatever object you have selected. Really useful if like you're trying to get around fast. I'm going to pull this to where I want one half of the door to be, and I think we'll just have it, actually, you know, I'm just going to have it in line with this door here. So now what I want to happen is I want to make this wall into one big piece. And so to do that, I'm gonna need a couple more faces, because if I just pull this out and now I start pulling this up, it's gonna properly seal this. But now when I get to the top here, I don't have a way of sealing this top part off, because if I try to select just this top face here, it's just gonna move the whole wall. So if I wanted just a solid wall, I could do that, and then I'd be done. But I don't want just a solid wall. I want there to be a hole in it where the door is going to go. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drop this down just by 1. Or excuse me, I'm actually just gonna make it as tall as I can. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to extrude this face. So what I've been doing is I've just been pulling and pushing this face, but now I'm going to actually extrude this face. And what that's gonna do is it's going to create 4 brand new faces, or 5 actually, brand new faces that I can manipulate. So if I come down here and I say extrude faces, I wanna just extrude it 1 meter. And now I can actually select any of these faces. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna select this face, and that did not work. Why did that not work? Do I have to do it twice? Yes, I do. You extrude it twice, and there you go. Oh yeah, because it was trying to blend those 2 shapes together, which is not what I want. So we come over here. Now you can see we've got our frame, so to speak. It's kind of difficult to tell if this is the right spot. Okay, that is the right spot. So we are going to extrude this face, and once you've set up the parameters that you want by clicking this little plus menu, you can actually just click the words and it'll just do it automatically, which is really nice. So like I know I pretty much always extrude by 1, so I can just click it, and I don't have to set the parameter every time, which is nice. So now what we can do is we can either take this top face or these 2 side faces. I'm gonna take the top face first, bring it down to wherever it is I want the door to be. And how tall do I make that other door? It's like I made it 1, 2, 3, 4 tall, right? So now when I come in here, I should be able to just look through here. Okay, I want this door to be the same height, so I'm gonna use it to measure up. And then I'm gonna bring this wall in. And now I should mention, this is just for prototyping, because if you did this kind of stuff with actual meshes, it would be stretching the meshes really weirdly. But since we're just using like blank textures and stuff like that for now, we can do it like this. So we're gonna line this wall up, we're gonna line this wall up. I like to make sure that everything in my scenes are uniform, so I'm just gonna bring that up a little bit. And now what I can essentially do is I can have this lead to pretty much whatever I want. So if I wanted there to be another room on the other side of this, I could do that. For now, what I'm gonna do is just have it lead to nothingness. And we're gonna create an object to be a door here. So I'm honestly just gonna use another Probuilder cube because they're easy to work with in my opinion. So we're gonna drag it out and make it completely fill up this hole. And then what we can do is, with this button, is we can say, we can come in here once we leave Probuilder. Hi, button please. There we go. And we can come down into the script in the editor and we can say the target for turning it off is just size 1, and it's going to be this object right here. So we'll name this door. Come back into here now and say the object we want to target is door. Okay, So right now the target is enabled. And so, yeah. I'm actually going to tweak the door just a little bit by pulling this part out. Actually, we want to do this. I'm trying to figure out a good way to like signify the player that, hey, this is something that's different. Oh, I know. I'll use Vertex Colors. So Vertex Colors are also cool because they can basically change the color of one of these blocks instantly. So I'm going to just change it to be marine. Or like that's like a red-violet, sort of. So that's pretty much everything, except for actually dropping a player into the scene. So I'm going to drop a player into the scene, do a test run of this, and then we'll see how it goes.